What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street. I hope you're all having a very good day today. Welcome to the community stream. Sorry, running just a few minutes late. Had a nice long intro there. Had to go take, one of those breaks that, if you watch if you follow my man Josh over at the Den of Nerds, let me hear it down in the chats. But one thing that he definitely likes to do during his live streams is he likes to take his little potty breaks. Dang it! And you know what? I made sure that I took care of that before we started the stream. So anyway, thank you all so much for being here today for the community stream. I did leave a pinned comment there in the comment section if you would love to join the conversation and let your voice be heard and talk about the upcoming WandaVision show, what you're thinking, what you thought about last week's episode, and things like that. You can also just join in the comments, but if you do call, know that you are going to be joining a live stream and talking on stream with other people. So we'll be here. So, get at me, dog. Get at me if you want to join the chat. And let me get this kind of moved around there. And yeah. So let's see. Looks like we got somebody else that looks like they joined in, but I don't hear anybody. I don't see anybody here yet. I don't know. It says 1 of 2 in the call. I don't know. Maybe somebody already called and hung up. But anyway, I hope you're all having a very good day. As in case you don't know, I mean, I see this in a lot of streams. People wander into streams like this and like, hey, has the show released yet? Has the show released yet? No, it hasn't released yet. WandaVision, the next episode is going to be releasing. It's going to be releasing tonight at midnight Pacific Standard Time. If you're in a different part of the world, check your local listings and maybe look at it from midnight Pacific Standard Time. What time is that where I'm at? You get me. I'm giving you a hard time anyway. Thank you all so much for being here today. Again, one of the things I really like about this series so far is that like every week it leaves you asking more questions. Every single week leaves you asking more questions, and that's a good thing. I think for the most part, a lot of people have really enjoyed the series overall. I do know the first probably like 3 episodes or so, things were a little rough for a lot of people. A lot of people didn't like the TV show aspect, thought it was too slow moving and things like that. And there's still a lot. There's still a lot of people out there who don't like the run times of this show. This is something I've seen a lot too. People we want more than 23 minutes, the half hour, with like the 10 minutes of credits. There's a lot of people out there that want the shows to be longer, and I do think the shows are going to get longer. Hell, for all we know, maybe this week the episodes are actually going to get longer, but I've got to say, overall, I think the length of the episodes for me has been perfect. I have enjoyed every single episode, and really you've kind of seen like throughout this whole series, and here's the cool thing about this whole series overall, is that you got Matt Shakman is the director of. You only got one director, so it's not like even if you take and compare it to things like The Mandalorian, where you got a different director each episode. And sometimes they direct more than one episode per season and stuff like that, but you have more, and most TV shows are like that, where you have more than one director in there calling the shots on these shows throughout a season, throughout one season, let alone multiple seasons and things like that. Where here we got just director Matt Shakman, who himself actually used to be in a TV show when he was growing up. He was so he's actually really the perfect kind of director to bring in and do this. And it's funny, I mean, I know there's some people that talk about that, but I don't really ever hear a whole lot of people talk about that aspect, that we do have somebody who actually grew up in this kind of an environment directing this series. And if you really look at it, you can really tell they spent time giving us that feel and everything about how everything is. Plus, you got to think about the world that Wanda is living in as well, where she's going through and kind of living, trying to live up to this status quo of what the time is in the era and things like that. As you've seen it progress from the 50s to the 60s to the 70s, getting ready to go into the 80s and things like that. So I mean, you see a lot of that trying to live up to the status quo. But if you really think about it, what you've seen on TV the whole time anyway is really a it's a commercialized, it's a corporate version of what small town America is. You know, that status quo of that, of what suburban life is like, or growing up in a small town or anything like that. And that's really what a lot of those shows were, you know. And if you think about it, that's what a lot of it is. It's kind of that, supposed to be like not even dramatized, I guess, and not even dramatized because it's not always funny and it's not always dramatic. It's just that, you know, it's magnified. Just kind of like if you look about like how social media is now compared to what real life is like when you get out there and see people, real interactions with real people that you know, and stuff. I know a lot of people have kind of lost some connection, and I get it. But the point being, is we've got a great director coming in here, and they're doing a lot of these things here throughout the show, and bringing the show all together. And I think it's been really great overall. It looks like we've got our first guest here. We'll bring him on here in just a minute. Let me get everything set. Oh, see that? Oh, yeah, that's not gonna work. There we go. Here, let me try this. We'll get in here, and okay, now. And anyway, folks, let me know what you think about, you know, just my thoughts. I've been here flapping my gums for a while. Let me know what you think about my thoughts there down there in the comments below. We'll get into those here in just a few minutes. All right. Now let me make sure, is this thing... Skype is always fun to mess with, and it looks like it's going to be messing with me all of a sudden today already. Always a pleasure with Skype. Okay, let me see here. Because what's going to happen is, as soon as I get this set up, what it's going to do is it's going to blow you up again here later. Or shrink it down, either one. Okay, so let me see here. Let's go ahead and get ready to bring on our guest here. Everybody, we've got our first guest for the night. We've got Stormy. How are you doing, my man? What's up?
Yo, what's up, guys? Yo, Trinity. I'm good, man. How are you? How have you been over the last few weeks?
Been doing
We haven't
good.
like really conversated a lot like the last few months, man.
Yeah, man. Just been staying busy with life and everything. You know, I've got kids and everything, and you know, I run my own business, so I stay busy with that a lot of the times too. You know, I know a
hmm
lot of people always getting together in like the Discord and things like that, and I know you've been doing some content creation yourself lately, huh?
Yep. Yeah, man. Me together with Timmy and uh, and Burke also. We made our own channel, Everyday Geeks. We do content on there from Marvel, Star Wars, DC, literally everything that's like in the realm of nerdiness or geekdom. Uh, we throw it in a podcast and we talk about it. Like yeah, mostly WandaVision and Marvel like the last few weeks because that's like the news doesn't stop anymore, man.
Yeah.
It's been nonstop. So catch Timmy and Landon Boulder Doobies are going to do a podcast tomorrow. I won't be able to join, unfortunately. I have some other things to do tomorrow. But be sure to catch that because they will make a great podcast again about WandaVision.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say, I know I've been checking out some of the videos as they've dropped. Now, are you guys doing
Nice.
are you guys doing some of that on Twitch, and then because I know like Burke, he does a lot of stuff on Twitch and then he uploads on YouTube. Are you guys doing stuff like that way too, or are you doing it just mostly through YouTube? Because I've seen videos
No, so
dropping.
so at the moment so Burke has been a little busy for the last few weeks, so he hasn't really been able to join anything for the last 3 weeks or something. So at the moment, me and Timmy are still doing just like normal videos or lengthy podcasts on the channel. on YouTube. But we definitely are looking into doing some streams in the future. We still haven't decided or if it will be on YouTube or it will be on Twitch. We haven't decided yet, but we definitely want to do live streams in the future.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, man. Looking forward to it. Yeah, I've been seeing some of the videos and everything popping up and checking some of those out. Yeah. Always good stuff. Always
thanks.
Always
man.
good to see new people coming in to make content. More variety. Because sometimes I'm sitting here on YouTube and it's not like people are making bad content, but sometimes I get here on YouTube, like when I'm working throughout the day or in the morning, I want to download some videos to watch while I'm out working or listen to, I guess, more so than watch. And like I'm like, man, like there's nothing like really super interesting. We need more. We need more people. But yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, indeed.
So let's get in here into the
man. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say let's get here into the live chats and see who all we got here. I see we've got we got you here, Everyday Geeks. We got XR Coon. We got Red Raven 96. How are you doing? XR asks where is Eric? I'm not sure. Eric was looking for mornings. I know because his parents are home in the evenings. Those dang parents. There's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand. He said it's a 6-hour runtime. Just got to be patient and get to the long action-packed episodes. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Proxy says you can with the VPN. With a VPN, I must have missed something there. Mike Porter, thank you so much for being here. George, thank you so much for being here. Let's see, who else do we got in the house? We got Comic Book Stills and Deals. Jonathan Velasquez, thank you so much for being here. Let's see. XR says, I want to move to Australia, then get to see it at 7 Thursday. Time traveling, huh? Time traveling. That's funny. Oh, man. Social media's propaganda. Yeah, Mike Porter says, the camera looks great. You know what it is? It's my shiny head. I shaved. That's what that is, man. Callisto, thank you so much for being here, Patricia. We got the Great Council in the house. Just got here. Darth Daddy, how are you doing, my man? What is up? So, yeah, let me, I mean, what have you thought of the series overall all so far, and maybe like what happened last week and what you're expecting out of this week?
So the show starts with like episode 1 and 2. So like of course I'm a Marvel fan, so I knew what was going on the background. So like I even though like the pacing in those 2 episodes was a little off, like it was great because I knew what was going on. Then episode 3 comes, and that was like, in my opinion, a lot better. Also for normies, they got to know a lot more of what was already like going on, like with the 2 of them, with Wanda and Vision. Then the 4th episode comes around, and that's the episode where I really am like, oh my god, now it's really going to start with Sword and Anything, and Monica Rambeau, and Jimmy Who, like Darcy Lewis was so funny in this episode, man. I really didn't know I missed her so hard since Thor: The Dark World, man.
Yeah. Dang it. Of course. Look what happens here is got to redo the see, there we go. It's messing with me again.
You work through OBS or StreamYard?
Through OBS. Through OBS.
Yeah, OBS is a little
Streamlabs OBS.
OBS is a little bit of a pain in my ass also sometimes, man. So
definitely.
I get the feeling.
Okay, so here, let me I know I'm gonna have to go here into filters, and we'll have to take this one. Probably gonna have to get rid of it. Why isn't it giving me both? Okay, so we got you there. And who else we got joining us here? Proxy, how are you doing?
What's up?
What's up, man?
Trying to see if I can get you on screen here as well. So what have you thought of this series so far, Proxy? I'm sure everyone can hear you.
The Easter eggs and just digging through,
Yeah.
watching them like 4 or 5 times a piece and seeing like all the stuff that I missed the first time. Thought that was really fun.
All right, and what
For sure, man.
what are you expecting out of this next episode?
I think this is the one where we see Quicksilver. I really do like the.
Yep.
It's gonna be nice.
Okay. Oh, dang it. See, look, I'm telling you. Streamlabs is messing with me now. Alright, let me see. It's gonna let me... Oh, man. One of these days I'll figure out how to work through all this a little bit better. But for now, I know we can hear you still, Proxy. It looks like we can only see Stormy though, and it looks like we have another guest joining us as well. And
oh, we got.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah. Who?
Can you hear me?
Any spoilers, Vision?
Yes.
How you doing with one?
Yes. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, we got John the Vision, huh? What is up, man?
How's it going, Trinity? It's Jonathan.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Good. Nice to see you guys. How's it going?
Good.
What's up, man? How are you?
Doing well, thank you.
All right, now you guys can go ahead and talk. Go ahead and what are you expecting out of this week's episode, Jonathan?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate. Looking for some big things this week. I think episode 4 pushed the limits of what was expected from the show, and I think it's only going to get better next week.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm really curious how they're going to play the TV and sword world together now and blend them.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty interesting to see where they go with that, I believe.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to a lot of that because kind of how they've built it up here over just over these past few weeks has been really good, and this is something. I mean, I don't think that there's anybody out there really surprised. That should be surprised by that coming from Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios. I mean, he really has kind of set a precedence for just, I mean, not I wouldn't say necessarily filmmaking, but building a universe and making it work out with so many moving pieces. And now they're expanding that with these shows, and the way it's just been kind of going for me. I think they've done a better job than The Mandalorian. They just haven't got quite up to that Mandalorian kind of hype quite yet. They're just letting it slowly build. Where Mandalorian, it seemed like it came out like after that first episode and was just like, I guess everybody wasn't through the roof about it, but it's a different thing though altogether.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit different just in the aspect that Mandalorian is kind of straightforward. It's building its own story. There's never been a Mandalorian story before. Kind of with WandaVision, they have the comics, they have all that lore that the creators base their stories off of when they're making these films and TV shows that are all incorporated. So fans kind of have like that backstory that they can, dig into, as opposed to Mandalorian. It's kind of like straightforward. There is no backstory. They got to tell the story and be a lot more straightforward with it.
Yeah.
So a prediction I have on what will be in episode 5 is I think we will find out who was the person in the FBI's custody who so I have this like big feeling that it's going to be either one of the Williams brothers, Eric or Simon, the Grim. They are the Grim Reaper and Wonder Man in the comics. So I think it's going to be one of them, just because they have been rumored to appear in the show since like the longest time, and they are actually from New Jersey in the comics, and Westview is in New Jersey. It's been confirmed. So We'll see. Like Wonder Man is one of my favorite characters, so I would be really down for it to happen. His like backstory with Vision in the comics is like it's complicated, but they could definitely do a lot of things like to work around with it to get like maybe a new version of Vision back. Maybe something like that could happen because they skipped over that storyline, that backstory of Vision like entirely for like his backstory in the MCU. So they could work around with it and like give us like a new version of Vision in time that like when Simon or Wonder Man when he dies, they then actually use his brain patterns to build a new Vision. I mean, to rebuild Vision or something like that. That's something that I think is going to happen in the show.
I'd say I agree with you. And to like kind of build on that is we're missing Ralph too. So I think Ralph could be the Grim Reaper, and we get Wonder Man as Vision.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a pretty good surprise.
Yeah, that's something I think too.
See who this Ralph guy is. We haven't seen him yet, and apparently he loves it in the dark. So
yeah.
Excited.
Yeah, and you know, some like I'm kind of wondering. I mean, bringing up Ralph. I mean, do we think that Ralph is real? I'm that's where I'm kind of at with like, is Ralph even real? Is she just making him up?
I don't know. I don't think she would name drop him like that if he wasn't real. I feel like there's a big surprise coming in once he does come in. I think it's a lot of hype and a lot of speculation that they're trying to set in off the beginning of the series.
Just saying this, but Ralph could very well just be like the Quicksilver Evan Peters guy we are going to see in one of these episodes, because like I hear a lot of people saying that he's going to be like Quicksilver from the Fox universe coming in. Like, no, he's pretending to be Quicksilver, but we already know who is going to be in like the larger MCU going forward, man. Like, I don't want to run ahead of things, but like to people who are not thinking that this Quicksilver that we are going to get with Evan Peters is not actually Mephisto in disguise, like. Just look at the fan castings, man. Like Evan Peters would be. He has been like number one or third, like second or third pick of like nearly everybody. Like he's been like such a fan favorite to play Mephisto. So I have a feeling that it's going to happen because like. We are not going to get into those leaks. Let's just skip over that.
Multiverse split. She's trying to bring back her brother, and she rips out Evan Peters from the multiverse, and that's kind of what starts the multiverse of madness. You know, just like it cracks the hole in the multiverse. I don't know.
Yeah, it could happen, but like, is the multiverse already going to split in one of these like next episodes? Because like, in my opinion, that would be something that would like happen towards the end of the show with like her like going totally crazy with her like getting to know that everything that's going on right now that it's not really real, that she will always like have to live with Vision being dead, and that her kids in this like type like pocket reality, they will like, because we know what happened with Tommy and Billy in the comics, so like they died and then they later came back into the larger 616 universe. So it's like, I don't know what happened. Like they got in there, and then it later got explained that they were kids from Wanda. So something like that is probably going to happen also. So in the MCU. So yeah.
And and kind of I see people saying in the chats too, like with Quicksilver. I don't think that. I think it seems a little silly to bring him in as Quicksilver. I mean, is he going to do that? Might they dress him up as that for some reason? And I mean, is he Mephisto? I mean, do we, like, I don't know, man. There's so many questions with everything going on, yet we've got so many leaks with all of this stuff that's happened. And like, it's enough to leave your head spinning and sitting there going like, I don't think I do know what's going on here. I think I just know people that are going to be in the show, and we have like no clue. Like they've.
So yeah, literally everything could happen in this show. Like we have been getting surprise after surprise after surprise. So like everything can happen with this show, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
I think you touched on a good point. About some of the comics leading that both the kids die, and like people haven't really like even got to that factoring that like trying to deal with that yet ahead of time, even if they are like rational, like thinking, oh, it's partially true, but then it's like you're going to get introduced to these kids. They're going to be 10 years old, 20 years old, decades old by the time of the end of the series, and then they're going to be dead or something. So that's like already going to happen within this show series.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And also the thing is too, because I've seen a lot of people talking about lately how it looks like there's only the one kid, because you only see the one kid that actually moves and a lot of this scenes and all of this kinds of stuff. Like, is there really only one and the other one is basically made up? And which also, even if that is the case, would also be where we see things that go through the barrier that become real from that reality, as with the jump rope on the end of the cable that they had attached, where it changed that in the reality. So there's just so many different things going on here with all of these different things. I mean, I said there's just been so many leaks and everything, and we see just what's going on in the show. It's like hard to say what's actually real and what's. I mean, I'm scratching my head constantly.
Even rationalizing the leaks as they've come out, you're like, whoa, what the? It doesn't even make any sense. It makes less sense when you get that stuff, almost, in my opinion. Like from what I've seen, I'm like, oh man, why did I look at that? Now I'm more confused. There's nothing leading you in a direction that's
right.
Like
Also,
end result.
Also, Monica came out with her sitcom clothes when she got like kicked out of the dome. So yeah, so like everything that's going on in there, like it gets transferred to the real world. So yeah, it's like it will probably go something like this, like the kids will like get out there and then they will, I don't know. It's already it's
Vision steps
really
out.
late for me over here, so my thought processes are already going like down. It's actually like 1:30 for me right now, so
oh yeah, late.
that's what I call dedication.
Yeah. Cosmic Cloud says Mando isn't nearly as good as WandaVision. Name 3 characteristics of any character on Mando. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I just think the way that Mando came out a little more kind of like it didn't change. It didn't really change. Like it was doing the same thing the whole time. It just got you more involved. Where WandaVision started off really slow and is building up that momentum. Is what I meant more so than anything there, Cosmic Clouds.
I'd say you could say the same thing with Mando, because you're kind of like building up that the Star Wars Avengers a little bit with Bo-Katan and all those guys. So there's gonna be a big bad at some point that they're gonna have to deal with, and I think this is like the very like foundation of everyone meeting and coming up together to fight, over several different stories, over several different movies, TV shows, and all that.
Yeah, definitely. T-Rev is in the building, says Ralph Dibny, elongated man. Wait, that's DC. That was similar to Mr. Fantastic. T-Rev, man. He's funny, man. And he was asking what's wrong with...
Start taking characters.
He was, T-Rev, I think it was Trev asking what's wrong with my face. Oh, it's because I'm sitting here, and through Skype, you see the screen sets there keeps changing sizes. And I think I figured out part of that is partially Skype, but some of it too, I think, is probably camera resolutions of people's stuff as well.
All right.
Let's see. We got Stephen J in the house. How are you doing, Stephen J? And guys, if you have any comments you want me to read, make sure that you tag me in them. Put at 2nd Street Marvel so it highlights it, because people in here, fall behind on the chats and stuff, and it highlights it so I can see it on my end. It looks a little bit better. But I guess let's talk about Director Hayward. Does anybody is there anybody here that trusts Director Hayward?
Oh no, I think he's a scroll. We're building up to Secret Invasion, and I think that man is 100% a green boy.
All right.
Yeah. Yep.
And what about you, Stormy?
So what if he's actually like someone like the Grim Reaper? That is something I have been thinking about also. Like he definitely looks like one of those guys who would take on like such like a villainous role, like such a, how do I have to say it, like a dickhead.
Right.
Like he just looks like that, you know. So yeah, he's not trustworthy. He's the Grim Reaper, or he's like was it Proxy or John that said it? He'd probably be a Skrull or something like that. So yeah,
They got to be up in high up places, so I think it's a good possibility.
Yeah. What about you, Jonathan? What do you think? What do you think about Hayward?
What if he's Monica's dad?
Oh dang! Oh man! Are we diving down the Leslie Jones as Dr. Doom wormhole?
Rabbit hole.
I mean, he's got, you don't know their history, but they have some established history, and he has a reverence and a respect for her mom and her place in Sword. And I think some of the foundations of Sword are going to deal with what we saw in Captain Marvel. So, just rewatching that, you know, Maria Rambeau didn't seem too trusting of Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel. To me, it seemed kind of standoffish due to her like military background. I think perceiving her as like a threat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that led to the creation of Sword, if you will.
Mhm.
But then it goes from the creation to the sentient weapon creation or whatever to research and development. So I don't know, but I think there's something there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm not sure that I trust him. I also see we got Romeo joined us. Are you here as well? I don't hear him. Maybe his headphones aren't working again. All right. Yeah, me myself. Yeah, I don't know. Like Hayward, the second he was on screen, like I see him, I'm like, oh no, dang man, like almost as soon as he got done flapping his gums the first time you meet him, you kind of like, this guy already seems like a sleazeball. And then they're walking through the little place, and he's talking about, you know, he's sitting there talking with Monica, and he's like, yeah, I don't really like this guy. I don't really like this guy already. And then, of course, he comes in to be the father figure, if you will, because he's grounding Monica for her mother. Yeah. Which, yeah, I thought was very interesting. And it also brings up, too, like, with that, if we know that Monica, or that Maria Rambeau was basically like Peggy, was to S.H.I.E.L.D., if we know that Maria was doing that, how much is Captain Marvel involved in all that? How much is Brie Larson involved with all of the stuff that they were doing?
Mm-hmm.
Which it kind of makes you ask a lot of questions, and then it really comes back to the sloppy mess of the fact that this is kind of a retcon what they did with Captain Marvel in the first place, and man, that's a slippery slope once we get on that conversation.
Yeah, that is true. Like, what was she doing after she left Earth the first time after Captain Marvel? You know, that's a pretty good discussion on where even to where Nick Fury took things. When he was on the ground and he knew about her existence and what she was doing out there. Mm-hmm. So that could all be a potential build up to Sword too.
You don't know what the S.H.I.E.L.D. Sword connection is. You know, Fury obviously knows about Captain Marvel, and she was like the first of her kind. You know, I think aside from, you know, Captain America, who was asleep on ice, so he was kind of not present, and then she popped up in the 90s. So that's something to look at. And also with the Pegasus project, like who was involved with that, maybe. There could be ties. I really like Lawrence Fishburne's character from Ant-Man and the Wasp coming back. He's a contender. He talked a lot about like the phase shifting and being stuck between different realities or timelines. Mm-hmm. So there could be something interesting there. I couldn't tell if my screen was buffering, but I thought I saw Wanda phase shifting at one point, which is the villain in Ant-Man 2 did, was able to like shift between different positions, the ghost.
And that's that's the whole thing is there's just a whole lot of things going on here with all of these organizations. And then, like I said, I guess where it really gets sloppy is in how they are kind of going to have to kind of, in a sense, retcon this. And it makes you wonder, are they even going to really dive into that? Because it seems like it's almost messy if you don't dive into Sword too much and highlight any of the things going on there and kind of that inception and all of that stuff. But it almost seems like you wouldn't want to open that can of worms neither, because then you're talking about stuff that's going on behind the scenes of everything that we've had over the past 10 years. And I want to give a big shout out to Stormy821, our man. Stormy in the building here on the show just became one of the Myrtle Maniacs. You're the man.
Yeah, of course, man. Like I've been a member in the kind of lost track with like every channel on YouTube, so I really didn't know that my membership didn't get like let me help.
Get renewed.
Help me. Yeah, it didn't get renewed. Thanks for helping me, Trinity.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. But speaking of which, I don't keep track of stuff a whole lot neither. And that guy, Adam over at Fanjecture, oh man, I was subscribed to his thing over there on Twitch, on the Twitches, and I did the 3-month subscription thing, and ooh, that son of a... He ditched out on me for one after I was backing him up, and then he just charged me again last month. Adam, if you're out there watching this right now, watching you, buddy. I'm watching you, and you putting movies like Jerry Maguire on a football films list. You're pulling some criminal acts, and it's wrong. You're wrong, but I still love you, Adam. But Jerry Maguire is not a football movie. And anybody who feels like Jerry Maguire is actually a football movie, fight me.
It's a football managing movie. Yeah, it's not the same.
Oh man, we're having too much fun over on Fanjecture's channel last night, man. I'm not sure if you guys have checked it out or been there. Always a good time. But let's see. Exile Coon says that Sharon Carter and Maria Hill are good scrolls. They could be. They could be. I mean, that would be kind of sad. I mean, I like Sharon Carter, and I guess that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. I like Maria Hill. And I like both of the actresses who play both of those characters too. But yeah, that would be kind of sad, but they seem like the easiest characters who would be that kind of shoe-in to be the person who is a scroll the whole time. And hell, for all we know, could be a Kree. Because Maria Hill's been there by Nick Fury's side the whole time. And if he's been there working with the Skrulls this whole time, it would be pretty simple to think that, hey, she's been a Skrull the whole time. And it actually really works really easily that way too. And then thinking of even Sharon Carter, that would be an easily placed one, except for the fact that she's related to Peggy Carter. I think that's where I think that's the only thing where that one gets a little bit messy. Right there is in that fact. Unless
I'd say, being a little bit off topic, this is kind of like maybe a little bit irrelevant, but not really. Cap going back in time and then spending his life with Peggy. Do they have a kid? And is this going to be part of the new Avengers kind of thing that they're building up to, or?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I see something coming from that.
I almost feel like you're getting ready to go into Star Wars territory here, and we know how those weirdos are. They like that whole thing with the brother and the sister doing the smoochy. We need this is the MCU.
I didn't subscribe. I'm out of here. I'm out of here.
We got T Rev with a $5 super chat. It says, "What if Tyler Hayward is Tyler Dayspring, Cable's son, and this is more time travel shenanigans and thus Cyclops' grandson?" I gotta be honest with you, Trev. That would be amazing if they did that. Highly doubtful, but at this point, can we really doubt it either? It seems like they're doing I think part of what they're doing so great here is keeping us off balance to where nobody has any clue what's going on here. Like, I'm watching this show and I see all the things, reading some of the comic books, reading this and looking at that, everything that's happening in the MCU, I've been rewatching movies, and I'm watching this damn show and I'm like, I'm like Jimmy Woo too. I'm like, dude, what's going on here? What's the deal?
Yeah, someone get me a coffee. I need some coffee.
Yeah, right.
But don't use those plastic pot things. Those are terrible for the environment.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yo,
uh,
guys, if I could like ask you like something like real quick, and this is something I've been thinking about like ever since we got confirmation that that Monica would be in this show. Which moniker do you guys think she will be going by in the MCU? Because we saw that her mother was called Maria Photon Rambo. We saw on like the news that the news was called Spectrum News. She's also been called Pulsar. So, what do you guys think? I personally think it's going to be Photon, just because her mother was called that. But what do you guys think? That's like a little question I have out of the top of my head.
I'd say Spectrum just because it was like the smallest, littlest Easter egg that they could possibly like be like a hint towards the future. I'd say that they'd probably keep Photon for her mother just to like to build that respect for like her passing and everything. I think it's gonna be Spectrum.
Cool.
I'm gonna have to say Photon. I think the little nugget from her mom. I think she's gonna pay homage to that. But I think the Spectrum thing. I think that might. I hate to say it, but I think it might like trigger people. If like the Spectrum, it's like people speaks to disabilities maybe or special needs, I should say. So I don't know. I don't know if people will use that, but I don't know if that's like a correlation they're going to avoid. I'm not sensitive to it personally, but
no, that's more representation, man. It's all good.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be a good thing. If anything, it'd be you got a superhero with that name. It's
I do think that is kind of tricky territory, but I do think I do think it would probably be Photon for the fact that it was her mother and stuff like that, kind of her mother's nickname. But I could also see it that way too, where they kind of let that be and let her take on and her own legacy as well.
But also they have speaking of representation, they have now brought in by birth the first like homosexual characters in Marvel.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah, Wiccan.
Yep.
Wiccan. Yep.
Yep.
And then who's the other one? Hulkling. That's who was dating in the comics, right? Hulkling.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we have
and
Daddy Altman.
supposed casting that might be looking like there's a character there as well. We'll see.
Yeah, and
I'm curious to see who Speed turns out to like who they cast for him. That's gonna be a really good character, I think. Not to put anything down like any downplay on Wiccan, but I personally like the speedsters. That's my shit right there.
Yeah, definitely. XR Coon says, "Why not Pulsar? One of the other." It could be. She says either way would make sense. Yeah, she's. Oh man. T-Rev says North Star is the first Marvel gay superhero though. I'm not for sure.
I'm sorry. I meant the first one on TV.
Yeah.
Or first one on like a movie or MCU.
Yeah, I was gonna say like me, I honestly I don't really care because I don't really care about such things. Like I just want to see a person come into a comic book, into a movie or something, and be a cool character and kick some ass and play their role. I don't care what they. I don't know. It's like to me that's just some of the stuff going on these days that people are so like just like. I wouldn't even say the fact that people are out there about it. Like, I don't care about all that, but like the people care so much about it. Like, okay, like you're cool people. You're cool people. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's just me.
What about no need to get into that?
Yeah, right. I know.
No need to get into that.
Well,
Proceeds to get into that. Let's go.
And the thing is
what goes in that dumpster fire right there?
Well, and the thing is though is because
I just joined in.
the thing is because it's kind of relevant to a lot of stuff anyway, because that is kind of stuff that they're doing with some of these movies and stuff in that sense anyway, bringing in some of these characters, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, like kind of my feeling is like whatever with that, you bring in the characters and do all that stuff. So it's not really a conversation that we're really going to be able to avoid for a long time. And how are you doing, Eric? See you finally made it.
Yeah, what's
Not
up?
much. How are you doing this evening? Hey, can you can
Great.
you turn your phone sideways?
Turn my phone
Yeah, as I
sideways?
say, it should orient. See if it orientates. It goes. Maybe it's not going to. All right, it doesn't look like it is. All right, how are you doing?
Great.
All right, and
On the YouTube, he's got like a little sliver.
yeah,
Little sliver,
I
yeah.
know, and this is the fun of Skype. I've got to figure out a way how to do these community live streams where we can get everybody's picture on there, because Skype is tricky sometimes. So what are you looking forward to this week, Eric?
Oh, I'm looking forward to some WandaVision.
Yeah, what are your expectations for this week?
I'm hoping they bring in Captain America as Hyper Cap.
Oh damn! In WandaVision,
WandaVision already?
Yeah.
Eric is going crazy on the theories, man.
Yeah,
That's going deep into
yeah,
it.
right.
Okay.
Like me, I'd love to see Hydra Cat, but I think we've got a ways to wait before something like that's gonna happen.
Oh,
Of course, we've kind of thought that it was going to be a while since we got the mutants and the X-Men though too, and look where we're at now.
yeah. So, my question is that there's a guy in the show. Remember the guy that brought Ant-Man to house arrest?
Yeah, Jimmy Woo.
Like that. I wonder
Jimmy Woo.
if that guy is working for Hydra or something.
Oh, you think Jimmy Woo's working for Hydra? Nah, Jimmy Woo can't work for Hydra.
Nah, I don't think Jimmy was
he has a
working
lot
for
of
Hydra.
he has a lot of card tricks up his sleeve.
Okay.
Never know. You never know, man. You never know.
I mean, I guess if he did, it'd be kind of magical, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Jimmy Woo is like the nice guy in the MCU, so no, he's probably not a Hydra agent.
Yeah.
Could be working for AIM too.
Yeah.
Ooh, AIM. Okay. And the introduction of AIM, I don't think we've seen that yet, but that's definitely going to be an interesting time once they get into the picture.
Well, I mean, they were in Iron Man 3 when Aldrich Killian was there, because he was the head of it. But
I'd say yeah, but they were like this boofy kind of like idiot kind of core. You know what I mean? They weren't anything special. They were making like copies. They couldn't really figure anything out for themselves, and like all their stuff was broken, and like they had to having what's his face, Electric Whip Man, to do all the work for them because he couldn't figure it out himself. But AIM in the comics are like filled with geniuses that are like tearing into like the multiverse, and I don't see like that coming from the same.
You're thinking
guy,
Iron Man 2.
You know what I mean?
You're thinking Iron Man 2 with Hammer.
Oh, you are right.
Yeah.
Yep, you are right.
No, yeah, because Aldrich Killian, like,
Oh, I thought it was Iron Man 3.
And the Aldrich Killian, he had AIM there, and part of even my theories, which obviously we don't know that they're not true yet. We don't know that my theories aren't true yet. So if you haven't watched my videos, go check them out. Not right now though. Stay here on the stream. But part of my theories was that AIM has actually been working with Hydra for quite a while, and possibly was working with them when they did the whole when they did the whole the thing with like the scepter, and they were experimenting on people there in Sokovia, because one of the things he said in Iron Man 3, he says he'd been dodging the president's legislation on illegal gene experimentation for years. And to me, that sounded exactly like what they were doing with Strucker and all them in Sokovia. So that kind of made me think that they were working with them all along. And it almost makes me wonder if they are the benefactors in Ant-Man.
Yeah, speaking of Ant-Man, I heard they just started filming the third one not too long ago too.
Yeah.
From little leaks here and there.
Mm-hmm. Let's see.
apparently that this got released today. Apparently they are shooting in Turkey right now. So so yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see what 3 different Marvel movies getting filmed at the same time.
So,
Yeah, isn't that
wait,
crazy?
hold on, is
Yeah.
Turkey's like a desert? Or
Well, I cannot wait for the Shang-Chi.
Nah, man, Turkey's like a country on like the Mediterranean Sea, so it's more like subtropical climate
Okay.
over there. So
Okay. So Mediterranean climate.
yeah,
Alright.
something like that.
But what I noticed was there was also a casting call for Spider-Man for 2 tourists in like a desert location.
Interesting.
So it might be kind of weird to like going back and forth already. You know, you look at those early casting calls and stuff, or at your expectation.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like when it comes to all that stuff, we got all these leaks, we got all these casting things, we got all this stuff, and you know, at this point, there's so much coming out. It's hard to keep it all straight, and then you know, a lot of times we see that they've used times when they've had people read for certain characters and they're actually auditioning for something else altogether. They just wanted something to be the feel of that, and things like that. So a lot of it's like, I don't know, man. Like a lot of the things, I mean, except for when you get them from the really good sources, and even then it still makes you wonder, like, things happen in production times and stuff like that before all this stuff ever actually comes to fruition. So sometimes it's just really hard to say what's going to become real and actually come to fruition. And I think that's where a lot of some of like the, you know, like the leakers and stuff kind of get caught up, and a lot of people start looking at them going, oh, like this person don't know what they're talking about because they were wrong about this. And it's like, but things change.
I'd also say, like, even Zack Snyder's Justice League, maybe bringing in all old aspects that were already filmed that they ultimately ended up cutting. So who's to say, like, what they're filming right now won't get cut in the final form?
Right.
Yeah, it's a good.
Right. Peter Ferret is in the building. Says, I think Wanda is going to lose it. Let off a lot of magic energy, and Doctor Strange will show up. This will probably happen in the last episode. Yeah, and you know, I know one thing, and I'm surprised I haven't heard a whole lot of people talking about it. We've seen in like the trailers where we see like Monica there. They're using like that big old scanner thing on her, where you see her like looks like she's all in a medical robe and everything. I wonder, like, is that the point where she's got her powers? Did she just get her powers there? Did that just happen, what we've seen, or what's the deal there? I don't know.
All right, guys. Sorry that I'm having to like interrupt you guys real quick, but like I'm having to go. I'm going to have to catch my sleep. It's already pushing like 2 at night over here. So have a great talk for the rest. And Trinity, really quick before I go, if you ever want to like collaborate with us, like come join me and Timmy on the podcast. We would be more than happy to have you on sometime, man.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for being here, and have a good night, man. Get
No
some
problem.
rest.
Thanks, man. Have a great talk. Yeah, man. Have a great talk, guys.
Later.
Bye, guys.
All right. So what's up, Eric?
Oh, not much.
Oh man, look! Oh man, I'm telling you, this thing is gonna. There we go, dude. Man. Look, next thing you know, it's gonna be small.
That's right.
All right. There we go. There we go. We got you. There you are. So what's up, man? What are you looking forward to tonight?
Oh, looking forward to some good sleep. You know?
Definitely. XR Coon says, we all know where Hollywood leans, but making a pastor a villain and evil is one step too far. Oh, which pastor? Which pastor would they make a villain? What I missed there? Did I miss something? I may have missed some chats there. It's skipping around on me here.
Talking about the priest.
Yeah, he's talking about a priest. I don't know. XR King says, I know we're talking WandaVision, but Bucky becomes the warrior of Wakanda. Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
He could.
It's possible. It's
I
possible.
agree.
They are building that show around Wakanda now too, so that could be the rise of that that character. I don't know if it's going to be specifically Bucky. I think he probably tag in and help out a little bit, but I think that Wakanda show is probably going to be the establishment of that character. It's probably why they started it in the first place.
Right. Oh. I'm telling you, dude. Like, Skype is messing with me.
Having some technical difficulties.
it's
Not easy.
Yeah, it's
you guys hear me okay?
It's Skype. I think it's Skype, and then everybody's different camera ratios and everything. One of these days, I'll get this all figured out. Oh man. Oh, XR Coon says Jimmy Woo is a pastor. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. He did say that. Well, did he say he was actually a pastor, or just that he? Nah, I guess he would have to be. Yeah, I get you. All right, XR, we got you.
He's actually like a pastor, like a literal, like reverend, or what?
Yeah, it was in Ant-Man, when he, the second one, when he was sitting there, talking to Scott Lang's, daughter, who he's talking to Cassie Lang, and when he was telling her about Captain America, and he was talking, because he says, "Oh, wow, you're great with kids," and he goes, "Oh, thanks, I pastor something." Yeah, he mentioned
like a
it.
youth group or something.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. All the little things. Yeah.
Or maybe it's
pastor.
like, isn't it like a social worker or something? Maybe.
Yeah, no, I think it was a youth pastor is what Stephen J is saying. I do remember it being something with youth there.
Right. So I got.
Can you hear me now? No?
Yes, I hear you.
Is it working?
Yes.
Okay, I have no clue why, but okay, thanks.
Hello.
Hi.
What's
yeah,
up?
keep going. Sorry. Keep going.
Oh, you. I was gonna say you're good. See, look, and here it goes. You know what? It's probably just gonna be easier if we just go with audio only, because this thing's gonna make me mad. Is what it's gonna do.
You can change the roster in Skype, which changes the
video that appears.
Yeah, appears. Yeah, you have the options in the middle, right? In the middle, it's.
I'm a boomer, bro. I'm a boomer.
You're a boomer.
I'm not a millennial.
You're not that much. You're not that much older than me.
I'm not a millennial. I'm not a zoomer. I'm a boomer.
Okay.
How old are you? Can I ask you?
Oh man, I would love to answer that, but I'm probably not going to. Put it this way: I've got gray in my beard and in my hair, and I'm losing some hair. So
already, yeah, me too.
I was born in the 70s. Well, I was born in the 70s. We'll put it that way.
In the 70s. Oh, okay, yeah.
Silver Fox. Silver Fox is his code name.
Yeah,
Silver Fox.
Silver Fox.
Oh man. Okay. See, this is getting less on my nerves now that I don't have to sit there and watch the screen going small and big, and it's gonna.
You can see yourself right there.
There is an option. You can change the aspect ratios. You can change that.
Yeah, like I said, we're on screen right now. Instead of cutting into the fun time, we'll get into some conversations. So what's on your mind, George? Or what should we call you? What should we call you?
You can stick to Romeo if you like.
Okay,
because
Romeo.
That's my real name.
That works.
That's my real name. George is just out of frustration. Every name was taken, and I just you know what? Type something in and whatever. Because I'm not a YouTuber or something, so I don't have a channel, and it's not representing me. So whatever.
And
But
And
yeah,
I
Romeo is fine.
I just want to say that Brian McCon says, Trinity, you're Gen X. And here, I just want to say, Brian McCon, I know that, but that is the most boomer comment that somebody could make. That's like
Okay.
that's like completely to miss the whole point. That's the
Just a public
That's the
service
ridiculousness.
announcement, I do not represent all millennials, so.
All good, all good. Yeah, believe me, I know. I worked with plenty of millennials. I was gonna say, and that was kind of the funny thing. Yeah, see, we'll go off the deep end to get into that. But I used to work with a lot of millennials, and people always blame stuff on millennials, and I'm like, like really, millennials are no different than most people. Is a lot of them, their parents were busy working. They don't have time to teach them how to do like on the job training at a job. So when they get jobs and they've having their first job, chances are you're gonna have to train them.
Yep.
Indeed.
But that's how it is with
10
all
years
old
of
people.
experience,
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how it is with all us old people anyway. We want you to be ready. We don't want to have to teach you. You're just supposed to know. Okay, so let's say Stephen J says maybe Wu fight Mephisto himself and armed with nothing but a cross and holy water. Hey, who knows? And see, since we're talking about Wu, guys, who do you think is the person, his contact that he was his missing person in Westview?
Wonder Man.
Yeah, people speculating about Wonder Man. I don't know.
100%. I think that's the cloak that Vision is consuming right now. I think Vision is a little cloak over Wonder Man.
All right. And how do you feel about that, Romeo? You're not on the Wonder Man train?
Yeah, I don't know if it's too much of a stretch to include also such a character in as well, because it's so much going on. So I think it's just these theories are connected to the comics, but the MCU is doing mostly other things with it, so I doubt it. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing too. Is like with all this stuff is because they are essentially not doing things like the comics. They always do everything different. And so, I mean, it leaves me wondering, like, they're making a mishmash of everything is what they're doing. They're giving us that secret, what would you call it? I can't even think
amalgamation.
About it. Like, yeah, exactly. Like we're getting potted meat here. We don't know what's in that. We don't know what's in it. We just know that it's potted meat.
They're picking stuff from different eras in comics and runs and they turn it as they will. So it's not that we can accept or expect what's next. So yeah. That's refreshing instead of just copy pasting everything that was before would be lame. So I guess it's better that way, that they take these things but turn them into something new and refreshing and surprising.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
with Easter eggs and nods to the source, because they know where it's from, so that people will know, they are aware of that. We don't have to be worried that they don't know what they're doing. They always have these nods to the source material. So
yeah. Absolutely. We've got Trev here joining us as well. How are you doing, Trev?
Not bad, Myrtle. How you doing?
Good. So,
my kid breaks
take?
all his earphones here, so I'm trying hard with these earphones. My kid breaks. I'm on his computer, and he breaks all the earphones in here. Like, I don't know what the hell goes on, but
yours look worse than mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know what I tell him? I say, you break some more headphones, I gotta come for your fingers.
There you go.
I used some duct tape at least. At least I used some duct tape.
Speaking of graining the beard, man.
Whoa,
what was that?
I don't know, man. But yeah, so what's shaking? What are we talking about right now?
Just thinking about what's going, what we're getting ready to get. What are you expecting out of this week? What do you think is going to happen in this week's episode of WandaVision?
I think we're gonna get a half and half episode kind of thing. Like I think we'll get like the full house, and we'll also kind of see. It won't just be the whole sitcom episode, right? Like it'll be like we'll get like 10 minutes of the sitcom, 15 minutes. It'll say it's a 25-minute episode. We'll get 15 minutes of the sitcom, 10 minutes of maybe the outside world. I don't think it'll be purely sitcom anymore going forward. Do you know what I mean? Like we had the one-off episode that was the outside world, and I think they're going to incorporate like both within the bubble and outside the bubble now, kind of at the same time, right?
Yeah,
Going
I
forward.
think so too.
And yeah, it's tough to say. Like I said, if we get that Quicksilver, if they're labeling Quicksilver as an Uncle Jesse, and it's going to be like a Full House style episode or Family Ties style episode, it would make sense for him to show up in this episode. I don't know how much he'll be, but and saying that I don't know how much if we'll get any clues towards who the like as you guys are talking about Jimmy Woo and the person in custody that was there in the first place, if it is Simon Williams or if it's Eric Williams or if it's someone else unknown at this point still. You know, who's to say? Who's to say at this point?
Right. Yeah. And that's kind of the thing too. Like we've got so much stuff out there. They've laid Easter eggs out there for just about everything in the world. Like they're just kind of keeping us on our toes and keeping us guessing, which is something that I think has been really great for the show overall, because I mean it's slowly getting more people into it. I know every single week I look at Twitter and there's more people like, oh my god, like this show is so great, why didn't somebody tell me? It's like, well, a lot of people haven't liked it up to this point.
Well, and when Kevin Feige stated that, he said this is formatted for streaming, it's because there's the sitcom style episodes. Sitcom style episodes, the way they're showing it, would never work in a movie. Like,
right.
They're going to show like sitcom after sitcom after sitcom.
Yeah, it
No,
doesn't
I
make
don't
any
think so either.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like this is clearly why it's for streaming and everything else.
The cool thing though is that it's going through the ages. So it's starting off with the 50s, and I think it's going to work its way all the way up to the 2010s. So
yeah,
have a
like
lot
we'll get like
of,
an office. We'll get like an office or a Modern Family. Like that's obviously what you said. A case of the Mondays, or what is this? Case of the Mondays.
yeah,
I think
say like
says, right?
Modern Family or like Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah,
I think that was a
Malcolm
good
in the Middle.
reference
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So those scenes also, she's going to be talking to like a narrator and really break that fourth wall.
And so saying that,
Yeah, that'd be
who's she
cool.
talking to?
She's going to see
you could say the
also
same
on-
thing about Vision too. There's times where like he's like like at the end of the episode, he's like creepily looking directly into the camera and not at the TV.
No,
I
but
don't know
let's
if
say
you
they're
guys
doing,
noticed
they're
that,
doing
but like yeah, they kind of are breaking the fourth wall a little
But
bit.
if they're doing the narrative, if they're doing like an Office style or Modern Family style episode, when they're doing the cutaways and they're just doing the person, it's like when she says it's a case of the Mondays. Who is she talking to in that instant? Is she talking to Sword itself? Who is she talking to?
Is Darcy gonna...
that is true. I feel like she is aware that she's making this broadcast that's going like through the CMBR waves. There's got to be, because she's editing it so Sword is only seeing certain things, but we the viewers are seeing a little bit more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like she's not seeing the commercials playing in her own head. That's only displaying to Darcy.
That could be like a subconscious like projection that is because
Yeah,
like
because
you're saying it's like based off of her past traumas. So
Yeah.
I think it could be like subconsciously projecting out from her mind onto the
But-
TV screen.
But I was gonna say, but saying that, they've seen episodes that we haven't seen, right? So they might have been like 13 episodes. They might have gone through a whole 24-hour cycle of, say, 60 episodes. They might have seen already, right? Where we've only seen 3, technically, of the sitcom, right? Like because they said that she can't stop watching, and she's been watching it for hours and hours. So
Well, she might be rewatching the same episode over and over again, kind of like how we were doing. I think they're in the same space, because even look at when Monica was shot out of the reality. It was like perfect timing. When that episode ended, she got shot out too. So I feel like she would, like Darcy was just studying the episodes as they were coming out and then just rewatching them, because they did say that they have them recorded, and she was taking notes on them too. So
maybe. Could be, but I was saying that to suggest that there could be more commercials than we're aware of as well. There could be more
Oh,
like
I
commercials
have a
related to her trauma that we're not.
Oh yeah,
aware
I
of.
bet.
I have a
Guaranteed.
question
I bet.
about the commercials. Do they see them as well? Because they never reference the commercials. Are only we seeing them?
I
Yeah.
think there was a scene where the Hydra Watch kind of made it into the Darcy's television screen, but they didn't really go over it. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, they don't talk about it at all.
If it's
So-
put in place between the edits, like what Darcy's seeing, because at the end of the first episode, right, like when we're completely immersed and they do that first pullback and you're like, oh, someone's watching this, that had a commercial in it. So someone had to have seen that commercial, and it was not in Wanda's world. Like wherever they went during that commercial break, whatever happened, we don't know.
Right.
But during that commercial, we're experiencing that from Darcy's, whoever's watching that monitor perspective, which is presumably Darcy and Dr. Wu, and they're like probably seeing that commercial too. And I bet if you watch through the episode, you can hear it playing in the background or something to that effect. But I don't think they have the actual Stark Toaster or that watch in world yet. There's been some of the like actual fan merchandise that's been put out there. There's an actual like gold and green Strucker watch that looks more like 70s and 80s maybe. So I think Vision might have a watch later, but I haven't seen anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they address that in the show. See how they address all the tie-ins that these commercials do have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would make sense to talk about this. What's going on there with why does she have commercials?
Right.
Yeah, in her imagination.
That could be while she's sleeping, and it's switching, like, because that's always like a mid part of the episode, right? So it could be that
scene switches.
It's while she's sleeping, or it's transferring from day to day. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and
so
that's kind of what I was noticing too. Is like it's like scene switches. It's not necessarily at times where we see like the time, like the change, like when she was there with Dottie and the glass broke. How it was a quick edit. There we're actually getting we're getting it's different because they actually did see the commercials where the edits they're not seeing what's going on in between there, and it kind of made me wonder where how some of that kind of relates as well when it comes to that, because I was kind of sitting there thinking about that, like when those edits come, when those commercials come in the show, and how they would see that in them watching it in the show.
Yeah, I'm also curious to see like what happens when Vision isn't around Wanda and that he gets one of those break moments. Like I'm curious to see what he does.
Right.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I mean, we've had some of those leaks and stuff, but some of the stuff that we've seen in the leaks, we actually kind of seen in the trailer coming up for this week. What do you guys think is going on there with Vision in that scene where we've seen him going up to the barrier and everything? What's he trying to do there?
Kept alive by her or the dark magic around, and he tries to figure out is this real or not, and he's trying to get out there.
Well, I think something happens during the episode when they're trick or treating, right? So
yeah,
so so I assume like it's going to be something that happens there, and he's going to want to test the boundaries of Westview. It's going to go ahead.
100%.
I bet one of the candies looks like the soul stone.
Soul stone, the mind stone, or the soul.
The mind stone. The mind stone. One of the candies might look like something like this, and
I feel like
just on a side note, do you guys ever think like the way people's powers manifest, how they're all directly related to the colors of the stones? Like her reality warping powers are red, like the reality stone.
Yep.
The Doctor Strange's powers are orange, like the Soul Stone.
Yeah.
Heimdall was orange, like the Soul Stone. He had soul
powers.
Of course.
Like certain powers operate on certain color frequencies, kind of thing, or something. It seems like.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's just a side note, though. I was just thinking about that.
Well, even when Thanos was using the gauntlet for the first time, I think it was Infinity War. in the very beginning. Like every time, like you'd see him as he collected the stones, when he snapped his fingers and got the Infinity Gauntlet to work, it like changed the color to whatever stone that he was using. Was what was
Right.
Yeah, no,
affecting
but
him.
I'm saying without the stones, like characters without the stones using similar powers are operating.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
I'm just
same-
like tying the two together.
Yeah,
They are connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta push the puppy to bed. Alright. So you go. Push the puppy to bed.
And-
I gotta go, guys.
All right, take it easy, Eric.
See you later, Eric.
Oh,
Well,
thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we'll be doing this again next Thursday, Eric. Have a good one, man. And I'm with you there on that too, Trev, because that's one of the things I've kind of thought about is like, I mean, the one thing is like I think all of the power of the stones can be recreated. I mean, we've literally seen it. We've literally seen it happen. Like I've seen, obviously with actually the great Dr. Arnim Zola recreating the power of the Tesseract. Hail Hydra, and then
weren't they funneling power through the Tesseract for all those weapons?
It was because they created that power initially from the Tesseract, essentially like Tony Stark did. Because that's where Howard Stark started researching it. Was that element, and he was looking for it. And I also think that that's kind of what happened in Wakanda. I think because you see, you got the purple flower.
The Power Stone.
You see his powers with his suit; they're purple. And it made me wonder if the Power Stone was there at one point too. If that's like the meteor, maybe it was the stone that became the meteor as it traveled to Earth and landed in Wakanda. But that also brings into question like getting into the comic stuff with like the Infinity Watch and who was the Infinity Watch originally that Odin,
Moon Dragon.
The Odin would have went and took all the stones to, because I mean we knew from Ragnarok that at one point he had all the stones. And then they kind of dispersed them all. The one that he didn't have was the ether because, his father had that hidden. But
with the dark elves. Yep.
Yeah. Who was entrusted with all those stones later, or just like what happened to him that they all landed?
So saying that, Thor is 1,500 years old, right?
Yeah.
1,500, I believe.
Yeah.
And so Hela was in prison before Thor was born.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's at least 1,500 years ago that Odin, I should say, decided to not use the stones. So that's more than 1,500 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So
did Odin even know that the ether was a stone, or did he just know it was powerful?
I'm not sure. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But if he was trying, if he was using the stones to conquer the universe or conquer even just the 9 realms at the time, say he wanted to conquer the 9 realms. It's hard to say, and maybe he probably didn't have the Soul Stone either, right? Or he had Heimdall. Heimdall's there though. Heimdall, and how old is Heimdall?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh, he's got to be even older than Thor.
I think the Soul Stone probably came down to when he probably started to end his quest, because he probably didn't want to give up what he loved for the Soul Stone, and that might be when he kind of realized, like, hey man, like these things are bad. These things are evil. We need to get rid of these things.
Maybe he would have had to give up Hela or the Soul Stone or something.
Yeah.
And then Hela, and he was like, so he decided not to do that, and then Hela was just trying to usurp him because she wanted to still be war crazy or whatever there, and he had to do what he had to do.
Yeah, I kind of think he was on the same. I think he was on the same kind of arc as Thanos was, essentially, except for he backed away and he's like, man, like we can't do this. Like this is these stones are temptation.
I agree. Actually, I'm sorry. I started a whole tangent from WandaVision. Just it's.
It's fine.
Yeah, you're all good.
Well, to make another tangent off, I'd say like, what if when they were experimenting with the Tesseract and making those weapons, that was the original sword, and that was the sentient weapon observation response team.
Yeah.
And they were just because they were building the sentient weapons, and then they get reformed into the sword we know today.
Well, that was it was a division of Shield.
Yeah, I hope they don't just do the same thing with the whole Shield thing and Hydra infiltrating them, and Sword is also working for the bad guys right now as well. So this would be a bit again. But I think they provide maybe, and that's a far-fetch, maybe the technology they provide Dr. Doom with it. for other projects, a
Well,
side project.
I think Doctor Doom for sure is going to reconstitute the stones at some point in the next 10 years in one of the movies. He's gonna be the one that probably reconstitutes the stones to maybe defeat the Annihilation Wave. Galactus.
He's gonna be the only one powerful enough to do it too.
Well, him and or Reed, right? Him and or Reed could build some kind of technology to reconstitute the stones.
Right.
And that's
because there is no such thing as destroying the stones. Like how Thanos
well,
they reduced it to atoms. Something's gonna bring those atoms right back together.
Right.
Yeah, I thought about it in Endgame that it would be Hank Pym and not
I literally just had
Ant-Man that he shrinks down to a subatomic level to bring back the stones, because that's what Thanos said. He destroyed them to that tiny.
I'd say that's true, but like finding all those atoms and like how far apart they gotta be, that's gonna be difficult.
I just had a thought. I was thinking, so when Thanos atomized the stones,
atomized.
That includes the Time Stone. And we're talking about characters with similar powers and similar colors. And so what if the event that happens in 2018, I guess, is when he atomized the stones, right? Like 23 days or a month, or like
sounds about
maybe a month after Infinity War, right? Or a month into Endgame, whatever that first little part of Endgame is. What if part of him atomizing the stones is sending particles in those atoms throughout time, and that's an event that goes forwards and backwards in time.
So,
you know what I mean? Where it's like, so when we have people with similar powers and similar, and we're talking about mutants, that could be something.
We're talking about others with other abilities to get these Mind Stones in other timelines.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. So he and then I'm just saying it could be they're just throughout the universe, backwards and forwards in time from that one event.
Right.
So not just this Earth that collects them, but everywhere in the universe there are collecting. Maybe.
I'm just saying, it's just a thought I literally just had, but it's just like.
Hopefully that thought brings in Molecule Man down the line too, or Hyperion. Yeah. I'm really anxious to see those guys.
I wouldn't mind Hyperion, but like that seems like a Squadron Supreme seems like a one-off movie. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not like it's something that can stick around. It's too similar to the Justice League, and they can't. Like Squadron Supreme is literally a rip-off of the Justice League. So it's like.
But it is a really good part of Secret Wars too.
Well, but not really. Like Squadron Supreme was a part of the redone Secret Wars. Secret Wars, if they're gonna do Secret Wars, it's probably gonna be Doom having the power of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. It's not gonna be like Doom with Molecule Man, because that's like I understand people want that, but like it'll be streamlined. It'll be like Hickman's and like the original 84, 85 Secret Wars or whatever it was, like streamlined together.
I think Marvel.
Galactus is so much more in someone's like, they know who Galactus is. They don't really know who Molecule Man is, and Galactus was a part of the original Secret Wars. Silver Surfer was a big part of the original Secret Wars.
Right.
I think Marvel comes up with something new, and we'll mix it.
You know, Kevin Feige's got to mix it up. Definitely.
Like he streamlined so much stuff together, right? Like so, if he's streamlining a lot of Marvel's history. Yeah, it just seems like he's gonna blend stuff together. He's gonna and it's gonna be somewhat new to comic readers, but at the same time still reminiscent. Still like you can still appreciate the old Kree versus Skrull war from what was it, 1970s? When was that from? Trent, right? You're a boomer.
I'm not for sure.
Come on, Trent.
I don't have the comic.
The OG Secret War.
The original issue.
I think the OG Secret War.
I do have an Incredible Hulk 181.
I'm talking about Kree versus Skrull War. The Kree versus Skrull War is from like the 70s.
But Stephen J in the chat says nobody asked who's laughing in the laugh track episodes. And you know what's funny? That's an interesting observation. But one other thing I noticed there with the laugh track is if you notice when they cue the laugh track throughout a lot of the times in the episodes, it's at very weird times. Like
I think someone talked about that before. I agree. Yeah.
It comes at some very.
There's
weird
also
times.
another time too where Vision triggers a laugh react with the TV remote.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys noticed that, but yeah, I
Mhm.
noticed that.
Yeah, and that's
I
what
didn't.
that's why I
That
noticed
was
that there's
interesting.
I'll rewatch that, yeah.
yeah, there's just times when they have that laugh track at the weirdest time, like
Mhm.
you know how these small towns are so hard to escape from, laugh track, and it's like what's funny about
Yep.
that? And there's like if you go back to episode 1 even, there's just times in there where when there's laugh tracks and it's like, why are you laughing at that? What's funny there? There's it's not even like silly or comical at times, which kind of is kind of something interesting to sit there and think about that too, along with like who is
You ever go back and
laughing?
watch Happy Days or the Andy Griffith Show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was before my time. Can't see. Yeah.
But they laugh at funny times a lot of times, typically, yeah, I don't know. Interesting though. Interesting.
No,
I've
if
been to a
I
live studio audience taping, and they like kind of force you to laugh.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, they
Pretty
kind of had those NDRs that
And-
those audience definitely had to sign for that one. I bet.
Yeah.
You have to watch things on they act out the same joke like numerous times too if they don't hit the mark. So you're not hearing that joke for the first time. You just have to be like, ah.
Yeah, saying that maybe we're getting
Right.
a bunch of more takes than where we're not seeing too, right? Like we're like maybe we'll get like a whole thing where it's like the Truman Show. Remember the episode where like the sun's going back, like not the episode of Truman Show, but the movie The Truman Show where Christoph is like, make the sun go up now. It's like 3:00 in the morning. And we'll see just like cycles of days just going back super fast, like super fast going through, because if she's experiencing a lot of it in her mind too, maybe she can just do that. Who knows? Or
Yeah.
the way her mind is operating is making everyone operate at a faster level. That's why the times aren't in sync too, right?
Yeah, and I was gonna say that's an interesting thing too, and I think that does kind of have to do with the reality there too. But that's made me wonder about some of the other things too with the episodes anyway, because one of the things I was thinking about, is there a 24-hour lag time, but there isn't. Because we've seen in episode 3 where Monica got sucked in
at the same time,
yeah, and then after she sent in the drone, and then she got sucked in a few minutes later, and then we see that happen later in the episode, which makes you wonder, is it a rerun? But then if they're watching reruns, then that means that that Randall Park couldn't be outside calling to Wanda when they actually see it on the screen and see her react to it when it all cuts and everything that they're watching. So
Yeah, it's a live broadcast.
yeah,
Someone's there laughing.
yeah, so it's
Okay.
interesting because it's like it was live at that point, but then it's all still kind of like pre-recorded as well, which is kind of the one thing the director brought up in the last episode. Like, is this pre-recorded? Is this what is it? And she doesn't know, and it's like, exactly what is it? And I think that's where it comes down to the time warping, the reality, and stuff like that. Like, one of the things I put in that video I did a couple weeks ago was just that, where Baron Morta was talking about the time loops, the temporal manipulations, and all that, and we see her doing so much of that stuff throughout the episode, especially in episode 1 while she's sitting there cooking and just all those different things. And I'm wondering if it's all kind of starting like kind of just maybe stuck in a paradox, or maybe time loops and different stuff like that. Maybe it's all kind of playing into that, possibly.
Yeah. The whole thing with the turning a fully burnt chicken into eggs, which is like unfertilized chicken. It's not actually a chicken.
Right.
Kind of tripped me out. It just went like so quickly and everything, but it was like from fire. There was like a fire.
Yeah.
And then it turned back to
Yeah, and like
eggs.
the thing with that too is like she had all the ingredients. Like, why does she need all those ingredients for when she could just manifest, the dinner just like that?
Right.
That's what really threw me off too. Is like I guess she's still kind of like learning her powers
Right.
to an extent. Maybe that's what that was.
Or she's
is that
trapped
she
in
can't fully-
she's trapped in a narrative to some
Yeah,
extent.
that is also true.
To some extent.
Right.
Just whatever, even though she can edit it, she's still kind of maybe trapped in a narrative to some extent.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and speaking of that dinner scene too, Deborah Jo Rupp, the actress who played Mrs. Hart, I seen an interview where she's confirmed that there is more scenes filmed with her character. She just doesn't know if they're going to include that into the show. But there are more scenes with her filmed.
Yeah.
So it'd be curious to see where she plays in all this, and like what her real character is, and et cetera, et cetera.
I feel like we haven't seen the end of the like 1950s era as well. Like, I feel like that's coming back.
Yeah.
Same with the them working in that office building. the automated, what he was doing, computing or whatever there, and everything else. That hasn't played. Like, are we going to see that in like the newer, or they just kind of completely move it away from?
Yeah, I really hope they don't leave that as a plot hole. I really hope that's explained.
Yeah,
I really have to find out if Norm is a communist and if he masticates.
Oh, he is. Norm is a communist,
Herb's the
and I'm pretty sure
Herb's the non-masticator.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he masticates quite a bit.
No,
Can I ask?
He chews lots of gum. Got to chew all that food.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Can I ask another kind of question?
Sure.
Why giraffes?
They have long necks.
Oh yeah.
No, but why are they there? He buys a big, large giraffe, and you can see in the background statues of giraffes watching in the background and stuff. Why? I don't get it.
There was a correlation I've seen in a breakdown video. I just can't name it off the top of my head.
You know what's funny? Someone on my Facebook feed just put a question saying, "What's your spirit animal?" You know, the animal obviously you start obsessing over and just buying all the time. And someone was like, "Mine's the dolphin, a unicorn." Like a lot of the girls were responding to her. Yeah. And one of my coworkers put a giraffe, and I was like, that's why it showed up on my newsfeed. And I was like,
giraffe like in your dreams was his welfare and happiness.
Welfare,
okay. Or maybe it's just Elizabeth Olsen or Scarlet Witch's character's spirit animal that she just wants everywhere. Everything.
Because it's funny, I saw the giraffe once again after Monica Rambeau gets tossed out of
First Blood Rambo.
Yeah, no. She's the sister of John Rambo, of course.
That's what I'm saying.
No, she gets kicked out for a glimpse of a second. You see that giraffe again in this scene, and I don't know why they keep popping up all the time. It's strange. I don't know.
There's also giraffe art on the walls too.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
you noticed that. Yeah,
there are statues and on the pictures, and I don't know what's going on. But yeah, just a silly side note.
I don't know if we can. I don't want to overthink a giraffe.
Yeah.
What does a giraffe mean?
It could be significant because it's everywhere, right?
I thought about that
but
too.
What significance could a giraffe play?
Yeah.
Maybe just someone looking with a really long neck.
If it was a golden calf, say.
Yeah, that would be or how they call in English deer? No, the for Mephisto, you know,
the devil,
like a buck.
Yeah, a buck. Yeah,
a stag, a white stag or something.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe that would be a bit more. Yeah, but maybe it's just Agatha with the long neck watching her neighbor over the fence or something with a long neck or something. I don't know. Maybe
like that she's always being watched. Maybe those are all the visions that she's always being watched, whether from the outside.
Yeah, maybe like something
else.
Yeah,
could be.
Yeah,
there's always people gawking at her.
Yeah, maybe something that's about that. Yeah.
So, did you guys see the? I put it it was in like Denim Nerds Discord, but there's some shots of when Vision is landing. It's in the regular trailers. He's landing in front of Agnes's car, like in the Halloween scene, and his cape is wrecked.
Right.
Like you can see through it.
Yeah.
Did anyone see that stuff? What do you guys think? Like he's coming back after getting messed up, or like he's already dead?
Yeah, there's also a scene where his cape comes flying onto him too, kind of like Doctor Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doctor Strange's cape comes flying onto him.
Nothing I've seen in regular.
I may have missed that one.
Trailer.
But yeah, that's definitely interesting there, because I remember you pointed that out last time too about the cape as well, and I remember going and seeing the photo, and yeah, it's definitely interesting stuff. Like, yeah, what did go on with the cape there? I mean, but maybe that's the dead version of Vision there as well, the one that we seen in the last episode, because his cape would probably still be tattered, you know, from the fight in Wakanda. Yeah.
Right. And then you see with that same scene, you see him talking to Agnes, and he is in like purple Vision form, right? After he's been walking around at Halloween like the whole night in this costume right here.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Funko Pop.
Oh man.
So he's been walking this.
You sick with it, aren't you?
Oh boy, I
He's
got the
He's
sickness.
sick with it. Look at him. He's got all the
a lot of
pops.
Funko
Oh, I know a few people who are.
Where's the
So,
Mephisto
oh,
pop?
We're having a Funko Pop off.
Oh
Funko
yeah,
Pop
man.
off.
we went straight into these.
Got them too.
Where's your
yeah,
Funko Pop, Kennedy?
I
Where's
had
your
to,
Funko
I
Pop?
had to.
Oh
So,
man.
anyways, but
I
then
think I have one. I have one Funko Pop. I think. Period. I don't-
Good job. Good for you. Keep it that way, because 500.
It gets addicting. I can tell you that.
You don't want to
All
see
right.
Go down the
that.
rabbit hole.
Okay, you don't want to see that side of the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
But been leaving us like clues the whole time, like the pop toys and stuff, the leaks. But even the ones they've released, there was like the 1970s one. You could see he was holding like the pregnancy book,
mm-hmm.
so that was kind of interesting.
I don't know what to get into
All
these.
right, so guys, I'm gonna take off. All right. Have a good day, though.
All right, Trev, have a good one.
Good
All right,
chat.
see you later.
Bye. See ya.
But yeah, man,
So-
there's too much crazy stuff going on here, man. They definitely keeping us on our toes. That's for sure.
Right.
Indeed.
Do you guys think we'll get any animated episodes?
Ooh.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Like
I don't know
like,
about that one.
like on the
mean one
shows, I don't think on the show I don't think so.
I feel like we're gonna see it like in Wanda's show. She's gonna like see it on TV. Like her kids are gonna be watching it or something.
Oh,
That she's gonna see it like in the show, like herself, and that's in the like, in my opinion, in that Modern Family scene.
Oh,
She's gonna have like the real break where it's like
cool
it's gonna
idea.
be
Cool idea.
TV,
I see. What
and then
you're saying.
Darcy's gonna be like, "What the hell?" It's gonna be this total like
I see what you're saying.
mind melt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Because they
cool
have
idea.
a voice actress who's done a lot of stuff for Star Wars, like big stuff. Female voice actress was like going around saying like, "Oh, so happy to have worked on this," and there's like no scenes where there's like a voice over actress needed at this time.
Huh.
Yeah, so there's a lot of interesting things there. I think it's going to be like, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, for people to also mention the What If series, the animated series on Disney Plus afterwards, to get the people. Oh, hey, there's cartoons in also, so a little nod to that maybe.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a another multiverse thing. I don't know if they're going to keep it as like what if. I think it's going to be like some kind of like tears in the multiverse that Loki's kind of like going through. Like those are all different universes instead of just a what if imagination kind of thing.
Now I remember a question I had once. They said WandaVision will tie in directly to Doctor Strange multiverse, but now they changed and it's Spider-Man before multiverse. So how is this gonna tie in right now? Because multiverse makes way more sense than except they
I think
do the
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
also kind of sets up the multiverse too.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange.
But shouldn't it happen before in the multiverse and afterwards it's the Spider-Verse?
Well, I think that's what all. I think that's
Or-
what all.
or-
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily multiverse, but I think the point of all these shows is to expand, really rapidly
Yeah, of course.
expand the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think
Of
I think the
course, yeah.
breaking of it, especially the multiverse, is happening right now before our eyes, and obviously what we've seen in Endgame as well, with a lot of that stuff too. I see we've got over easy mode in the chat. My man Jay in here says Silver Surfer wasn't in Secret Wars. He was in Secret Wars 2 though. Obi-Wan the homie says that is how White Shug keeps us guessing. Yeah, I'm a little behind here. Justin Simone was
White Shug Easter egg.
yeah. Says it's like a 7-second delay when Moo is trying to communicate. It's like 7 seconds or so. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think there's a little more going on than that, and I think it may have to do with some of the reality warping that's going on here, possibly. Some of that stuff. Obi-Wan also says, I saw a video where they mentioned that giraffes significantly signify rapid development. They are born being able
That's
to
the
stand
same
up.
one that I seen too. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Similar to like how the
They're in
kids
the-
are.
Y'all are probably
The
watching
children,
new
they're growing
Rockstars videos, and new Rockstars, Eric Boss. I know you come here and steal all my stuff, man. I'm watching you.
Yeah, Eric. How are you, Eric?
Eric.
Hi.
Obi-Wan also says that the
like your
kids
show.
should be watching the old school X-Men cartoon, which that would be pretty cool if they did that. I mean, hey, if they're bringing everything else in, you might as well.
That
Give me
would-
those
that
power
would be
chords.
cool, yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Yeah.
No,
Jay also says scarab. Mephisto is a scarab. Interesting.
What?
A scarab, which
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, basically he would be almost like basically encapsulated in something. Basically, is what that would be, right? Kind of like, I don't know. I won't pretend to know what a damn scarab is.
Scarabaeus. Scarabaeus.
Like the Egyptian beetle.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Scorp-
Yeah. I was yeah. Kind of like that's what he's basically he's embodied in at the time. Yeah.
So you know how they have the scene that they filmed with Wanda, how she opens up the body bag of Vision as
Yeah.
the end the supposed end credit scene for Endgame
Yeah.
that they never put in. Do you think that's going to be incorporated into WandaVision, like how
We
this all
see-
started and how the reality change started?
We see
Probably
a
something.
glimpse of that. Where she flying into a room with all these drawers where the bodies are in.
And that is
There was a
sword,
short glimpse.
that is a sword facility.
Oh, okay.
A sword facility. Yeah, maybe there was Vision, and she gets him from there and tries to revive him, or I don't know how to say it. But she tries to get him back from his dead status.
I have one thing.
Transfix him.
With
Huh?
with Endgame, did Shuri successfully withdraw Vision from the mind or copy the Mind Stone or whatever she was doing?
I say
Not
yes.
everything.
I say yes.
Yeah, I don't think everything though, because
Okay.
he had to be forced
Not
out of
all
that
of-
pretty
not all of it.
quickly.
I say.
And
Oh, I was gonna say.
and then
I say yes
maybe
because
it's-
they had copies of all this stuff in the first place. I mean, like Tony Stark made this stuff. I mean, he should have all that stuff still there.
Yeah.
They have. I mean, it's essentially we're talking about programs here, and that's really all that it is. And I think all of that is easily replicated. I think we've seen where Jarvis was able to go into things, Ultron was able to go at anywhere and leave basically his digital thumbprint or basically live. I think. I mean, I very much think that there is an AI construct at least of Vision still out there, and that's probably what they're trying to do. Is probably trying to utilize that.
Okay, so Shuri has most of it, but has to collect the rest because
That's where
it's
he's, like,
still out
learning.
there.
Right? Like
Mhm.
that's kind of like learning
From
element.
from scratch a bit more. Yeah.
Could
And maybe
she-
that's something they touch on in
Could
the
be.
the Wakanda show too. What she's got going on with that research that she has.
Yeah, because she basically said
What
they were
little she
using.
does that.
She basically said they were using boomer tech. She's like, "What's this stuff, boomers?"
Yeah.
And they're like, they're like, oh, ah. But anyway, guys, I got to get ready to wind the show down. I want to say what's up to Ryan H, who showed up in the chats. But gonna bring it to an end here. Gotta go fire up the grill and get ready to cook some steaks and watch some After Dark, which should be coming up here very soon, here in a
yeah.
few minutes.
Oh,
So, if you guys are here, make sure you go check out our friends Alan Lavis over on the Den of Nerds Live for After Dark. They're going to take you into the evening before we all get a little bit of rest, or maybe not, before WandaVision gets ready to drop tomorrow morning. I'm not going to say tonight. Everybody always says tonight or today. It's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, dang it.
Therefore,
Oh,
For
and if
me,
you
it-
haven't already, make sure you like the video.
tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this video and all that stuff. And tell your friends. Tell them to come hang out. And maybe troll us in the comments or something, except for a good troll, not a bad troll.
That too. That
No
too.
spam. Y'all know how I don't like that spam.
Oh
But
yeah.
do you guys have anything else? Last thoughts before we go?
Nothing. I'm just really excited for what we're about to see.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. There is no watch party, right?
I don't do watch parties. I think
Oh.
Den of Nerds
Not
does them
currently.
for. I think Den of Nerds does watch parties for channel members over there. I think they do the watch alongs.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But all right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much
Hey,
for
okay.
being here.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's good being on.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here.
Fun.
K Dog says, "I shaved my balls for this." Oh, here, let me
That's
let
awesome.
me approve that message. There we go. We got to see that. There we go, K Dog. Oh, but it's not on the screen, so we can't see the. I shaved my balls for this. Damn it! Oh, you squishing my head.
Tiny answer.
But
you're watching watch you in the background right there.
Right.
That's the live, the WandaVision right there.
Yeah, we got some Inception going on. But yeah, thank you guys for coming on tonight, sharing your thoughts and just shooting the bull, man. Always a good time to get together with people and flap our gums and be nerds. But you all out there, thank you for being here. Make sure you like the video and all of that good stuff, and we'll see you all in the next video. Later.